Dear students, welcome to our YouTube channel Vidya for Success. In this video, let us continue our study on the cell organelles of eukaryotic cell. Yes, now we have one more cell organelle to study, that is centrosomes. So centrosomes are the cell organelle can be found in the cell during the time of cell division, because these cell organelles are very essential to the cell during the cell division. So just above the region of nucleus, we can find very distinct structure because their structure will be very distinct during the time of cell division. So those distinct structures are named as centrosomes. So centrosomes are the cell organelle usually contain two cylindrical structures called centrioles. So if we are considering the centrosomes, so centrosomes are always made out of a pair of structures. We can find in the diagram there are two pair of cylindrical structures are located in the cell. So these pair of structures are named as centrosomes. So each of the cylindrical structure what we can see here is named as centrioles. So pair of centrioles form a cell organelle called as centrosomes. And how these two centrioles are placed? So both centrioles lie perpendicular to each other. So they are not arranged parallel with one another. They are arranged perpendicular to each other. You can find in the diagram. So both the cylindrical structure, they are placed perpendicular to each other. So this is the actual position how they are located in the cytoplasm near to the nuclear membrane. So these structures appear very distinct during the time of cell division. And one thing, they can be found in animal cell, but these structures are not present in plant cell. And what is the actual structure of centrioles? So if you take a single centriole here, uh, in the enlarged view, we can see the presence of peripheral fibrils. So those peripheral fibrils are nothing but tubulin protein. So each centriole made up of 9 peripheral fibrils. What is the number of fibril present towards the peripheral region? So 9 peripheral fibrils of tubulin protein can be seen in the centrioles. You can see in the enlarged view of this structure, we can find the presence of 9 peripheral fibrils. Those are nothing but tubulin fibers. So each of the peripheral fibers are triplets. So 3 number of peripheral fibers can be seen in the centriole, so that they are triplets in nature. So we can compare somehow this structure with the structure of flagella. So in the flagellar transfer section, we can found the presence of pair of micro tubules within the axon region. But here in this centrosome, it does not consist of any membrane. There is no membrane here. So on the outside, we can see the presence of triplet peripheral fibrils. So how many triplet peripheral fibrils are there? 9 triplet peripheral fibrils are present. So each of the triplet fibrils, they are connected with the adjacent one. And the central part of the proximal region is proteinaceous hub. So you cannot find any fibrils in the central region. So the central part of the proximal region is proteinaceous hub. This is the region where all the peripheral triplets are get connected, so that it is named as a proteinaceous hub. It is just connecting all the 9 triplets of peripheral region. There is no any fibrils present in the central region. Understood? And each of the triplet fibrils present in the peripheral region, they are interconnected with one another. And also The peripheral triplets are connected with the central hub with the help of radial spokes. So radial spokes connects the peripheral triplets with the central hub. So this is the actual structure of the centriole. So each of the centriole consists of 9 peripheral triplet fibrils, and all the 9 peripheral triplets are interconnected with one another in the peripheral region, and similarly we can find the connection of peripheral fibrils with the central hub. Clear? So this type of arrangement is called as 9 plus 0 because there is no any central fibrils here, only peripheral triplets are present. So that because of the absence of central fibrils, it is named as 9 plus 0 arrangement. So this is the actual structure of centrosomes in the cell. And what are the functions of the cell organelle? So the main function what we can find in the cell is the centrioles form basal body of cilia and flagella. So the flagella and cilia, they actually arises from the plasma membrane region. So if you see the structure of protista like euglena and paramecium, the formation of cilia and flagella takes place from the plasma membrane. Clear? So the basal body of these two structures are actually formed by the centrioles. So the centriole form the basal body of cilia and flagella. And one more very essential function is it forms spindle fibers. So spindle fiber give rise to spindle apparatus during the cell division in animal cell. Say for example, uh, one of the animal cell consists of 46 number of chromosomes means. So during the time of meiosis, so half number of chromosomes should be carried to the daughter cell, so that there is a need to pull the chromosomes towards the daughter cell. So that pulling force is actually created by the spindle fibers. So spindle fibers uh, actually pulls the chromosome towards the daughter cells during the cell division. So this is what the main function can be seen in the organism. So these functions are takes place with the help of centrioles. So one of the function is centrioles form the basal body of cilia and flagella, and centrioles are very essential for the formation of spindle fibers. So spindle fibers are the thread-like structures. So they helps in the pulling of chromosomes towards the opposite pole or towards the daughter cell during the cell division. So these are some essential function performed by centrioles. Yes, we have left with one more cell organelle to study, that is nucleus. So nucleus is very essential cell organelle, can be found in the eukaryotic cell. So the presence of nucleus is one of the distinct characteristic feature of eukaryotic cell, because in the prokaryotes there is no nucleus. This is the cell organelle can be found in eukaryotic cell. And it is called as a essential cell organelle because each and every activity taking place in the cell is under the control of nucleus. This is just like a master cell organelle because it controls each and every activities. So what is there in the nucleus to control all the activities of cell? It consists of genetic material. So because of this, it control each and every activity of the cell. So the presence of nucleus was first described by one of the scientists called as Robert Brown in the year 1831. So Robert Brown was the first one who described the structure of nucleus in the cell. So children, if you take any plant cell or animal cell and you just stain it and observe under the microscope, you can clearly see the presence of nucleus, because this cell organelle take up stain and appear darker under the common microscope. So nucleus is one of the cell organelle can be seen under the microscope. And within the nucleus, we can find the presence of one more structure, that is chromatin. So the name chromatin was given by Fleming. So Fleming was the first one who gave the name chromatin to the structure present inside the nucleus. Then what are these structures? What is mean by chromatin? So in the diagram you can find some of the thread-like structure in the nucleus, within the nucleus. So those thread-like structures are nothing but chromatin. So nucleus has highly extended and elaborate nucleoprotein fibers called chromatin. So chromatins are the structure, they are very elaborate and they we can extend the structure of chromatin in the nucleus, because it is a long thread like structure, it is highly coiled within the nucleus, so that this thread like structure is made out of proteinaceous fiber. So the chromatin is named as nucleoprotein fiber. So this highly coiled thread-like structure can be found within the nucleus. And the name chromatin was first given by the scientist called as Fleming. Understood? And if you come to the structure of nucleus is a membrane bound cell organelle because it consists of its own membrane. So how many membrane we can find in the nucleus? So there are two membranes are present to the nucleus, outer membrane and inner membrane. So we can see in the diagram, outer membrane connected with the endoplasmic reticulum. Is it not? So the structure of outer membrane continues with the structure of endoplasmic reticulum, and the inner membrane of the nucleus can be found here. So outer nuclear membrane and inner nuclear membrane. So between those two membrane there is a space called as perinuclear space. So two nuclear membrane with space between called perinuclear space. And if you carefully observe the membrane in the diagram, we can find the absence of membrane in some of the regions of nucleus. So that particular region where the membrane is absent is named as nuclear pore. So we can find this pore-like structure, porous structure all over the surface of nuclear membrane. So these pores are actually formed when the outer nuclear membrane come in contact with the inner nuclear membrane. So that at certain region of the membrane, outer nuclear membrane joins with the inner nuclear membrane and form a porous structure called as nuclear pore. So why these pores are present in the nuclear membrane? What is the function of this pore? So always in the cell, the movement of molecule takes place from nucleus towards the cytoplasm or from cytoplasm towards the nucleus. So for movement of some of the materials from cytoplasmic region towards the nucleus takes place through the nuclear pore. So this pore help in movement of protein as well as RNA between the cytoplasm and nucleus. So this is just the region helps in exchange of some of the material between cytoplasm and nucleoplasm. Understood, right? Yes, membrane consists of number of nuclear pore. So nuclear pores are the openings, the small openings present on the nuclear membrane. So the pores are named as what? Nuclear pores. Then the nuclear membrane encloses a nuclear matrix. So within the nuclear membrane, we can find the matrix region, fluid filled region, and that region is nothing but nucleoplasm. So how we call uh, the cytoplasm in the cell? In the similar way, very next to the inner nuclear membrane, we can find the presence of fluid like structure, fluid like matrix, and that region is named as nucleoplasm. So you can find in the diagram the nucleoplasm is the matrix region here, and that nucleoplasm contains nucleolus and chromatin. So what are the red colored thread-like structure, coiled thread-like structure we are observing in the diagram? So those thread-like structures are nothing but chromatin. And the blue darkly stained structure, what is observing in the diagram, that is actually nucleolus. So these two are the structures can be found in the matrix region called as nucleoplasm. So nucleoplasm ಅನ್ನುವ ಒಂದು ರೀಜನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಯಾವ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಅಂದರೆ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಫೈಂಡ್ ದಿ ಪ್ರೆಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯೋಲಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ chromatin. So nucleolus is not a membrane bound structure. So there is no any membrane to the nucleolus, so that it directly connect with the nucleoplasm region. So there is no any boundary between the nucleoplasm and nucleolus, so that we can find the direct connection between the nucleoplasm and nucleolus. The content of nucleolus continues with the rest of the nucleoplasm. So because of the absence of nucleolus membrane. So nucleolus does not consist of any membrane. So that the content of nucleolus always continues with the rest of nucleoplasm. What is the function of this nucleolus? Why it is present in the nucleoplasm region? So nucleolus is a site for active ribosomal RNA synthesis. So RNA synthesis is actually takes place in the nucleoplasm. So this is the one function what we can find in the nucleus. So nucleolus is the site for active ribosomal RNA synthesis. So these are the structures can be found within the nucleus. And this is the nucleus structure can be found before the cell division. That means during the interphase stage of the cell, we can find this kind of nucleus. But when the cell enters into cell division, nuclear membrane disappears. So the chromosome formation takes place in the cell, so that we can't find the presence of nucleus when the cell are actively participating in the cell division. Understood, right? So this is the nucleus. Structure of nucleus can be found in the cell during interphase. Interphase, that means before the cell entering into the cell division, we can find this kind of structure in the cell. Yes, while studying about the nucleus, one of the question arises in mind is, does all cell consist of only one nucleus? What is the number of nucleus per cell? So let us understand that here. So majority of the cell in the organism consist of only one nucleus. So when the cell is having one nucleus, that kind of cell is known as uninucleate cell. So in our body, majority of the cell consists of one nucleus. In some other organisms also, in plants as well as in some other protista, we can see the presence of one nucleus. So the kind of cell when it is having the one nucleus is named as uninucleate cell. And we can also find the multinucleate cell. What do you mean by this? So multi is nothing but many. So some of the cell consist of more than one nucleus. So the best example for the multinucleate cell is endosperm. So endosperm is a nutritive tissue. We can find this nutritive tissue in the angiosperm. So this will nourishes the developing embryo, right? So the endosperm consists of multinucleate cell. So the cells actually forming the endosperm consist of multiple number of nucleus. So actually 3 nuclei can be found in each of the cell in the endosperm. So this is the best example of multinucleate cell. And there are certain cells, they do not have nucleus. So cell with no nucleus, best example is erythrocytes. So erythrocytes are nothing but what? RBC cells. So in our body, the RBC cell does not consist of nucleus. It is not having nucleus. So when the cell does not consist of nucleus, such kind of cells are named as enucleate cells. Clear? And one more example we have for enucleate cell, that is sieve tube cell. So sieve tube cell is a kind of cell. It is a type of cell can be seen in phloem of angiosperms. So phloem is a food conducting tissue. Clear? So sieve tube cell is one of the cell can be found in phloem. So this is also example of enucleated cell. There is no nucleus in this cell. So erythrocytes and sieve tube cells are the best example of enucleated cells. Understood? So based on the number of nuclei, we can divide the cell into number of different types. So some of the cells are uninucleated cells and some of the cells are multinucleated cells. And there are some cells in the organism, they do not have nucleus. They are named as enucleated cells. Best example is erythrocytes and sieve tube cells in case of angiosperms. So erythrocytes in case of human beings, sieve tube cell in case of angiosperms. Clear? So this is regarding the structure of nucleus as well as the number of nucleus per cell. And in our next video, let us continue our study on the structure of chromosome. Thank you.